Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Michelle's Storytime. The first story I'm going to tell today is called Dave the Bear and His Little Girl. And I wrote this story about 5 years ago, I believe. Once upon a time in an old cave lived a big chubby bear and his name was Dave. Dave lived in that cave all alone. He was so lonely, he had no one to call his own until one day a little girl came walking by Dave's cave. She peeked in the cave and she gave Dave a wave. The little girl was the nicest little girl that Dave ever saw, for Dave didn't have any friends. No, none at all. Dave went to the door of that old cave and he peeked round the corner and he gave her a wave. The little girl waved back, and she became a very good friend. She came by the cave to see Dave every day without end. She brought him fresh blueberry pie, homemade bread, biscuits and gravy, and a hat for his head. For soon it got cold and the wind started to blow. Dave got sleepy and his hair started to grow. The little girl stopped coming by Dave's old cave. Hey, Dave didn't care. He didn't even miss her wave because Dave slept day after day after day. Dave slept through the night and he slept through the day. Dave slept through the winter and he didn't even play. One morning Dave opened one eye and he was sure he could see the sun in the sky. All at once Dave felt his nose start to wiggle. He knew without a doubt he heard his girl giggle. Dave got a whiff of that blueberry pie. Dave knew for sure his little girl was nearby. Dave peeked out the door of that old cave. There she stood, Dave's little girl, and she was staring at Dave. Her hair was longer and her legs longer too, and Dave's little girl said, "Dave, look at you, look at you!" Dave looked down at himself. He was no longer chubby. No food in the wintertime made Dave's belly rumbly. Dave's little girl handed Dave the blueberry pie, and she smiled her big smile and she said, "I thought I'd come by. Dave, for you I would walk a whole mile, for you're the best friend with the biggest smile. I know you're a bear, but it can't be that bad, because when I'm with you, Dave, I don't feel sad." Dave smiled his big smile, and he knew what she meant, for that's how he felt, 100%. For you see, once Dave was lonely in that spooky old cave, but then God sent a friend to lonely old Dave. So will you be a friend to someone today? For you never know who might come by your cave. Thank you, and join me again tomorrow for another story time. Goodbye.